It all started with a whisper, quiet, sharp, and almost drowned by the sound of the rain tapping on the marble floor. May didn't think much of it at first. She was just another interpreter hired to assist a rich foreign businessman during his visit to Shanghai. But what she heard that night, hidden behind polite smiles and fake bows, made her blood run cold. The guards thought no one understood them, but May did. And when she realized what they were planning, she had only seconds to act. To either stay silent and save herself, or warn the millionaire and risk everything. What she chose changed both of their lives forever. The night was humid, the kind of Shanghai evening where the city lights blur through the mist. May adjusted her black blazer nervously, glancing at the convoy of sleek cars parked outside the luxury hotel. Mr. Jonathan Carter, an American millionaire investor, had just concluded a private dinner with his local partners, men who smiled too easily and whose eyes were always calculating. May was young, just 26, working hard to support her aging mother. Fluent in 3 languages, she often took interpreting jobs for visiting foreigners. Tonight's assignment paid double, but something about it unsettled her. The guards, tall, silent men dressed in dark suits, never once looked relaxed. They whispered to each other often, always in Mandarin, believing the foreign guests couldn't understand. As Mr. Carter shook hands with the hosts, laughing, one of the guards stepped closer to the other and murmured ANS. May froze. Her mind translated automatically, get it ready. Once he's inside the car, we move. Her breath hitched. Move. Move what? Or move on whom? She turned subtly, pretending to fix her earpiece, her heart pounding so loudly she could barely hear the rain anymore. She looked toward Mr. Carter, cheerful, unaware, walking toward his black car as another guard opened the door. Everything in her told her to stay quiet. It wasn't her business. These people were dangerous, and she was just a small interpreter who'd disappear without a trace if she interfered. But then she remembered her mother's words. If you ever have to choose between safety and doing what's right, May, choose what lets you sleep at night. Her trembling hands clenched. She made her choice. Mr. Carter, she shouted, her voice trembling as she ran toward him. He turned, confused. Don't get in the car, she gasped, standing between him and the open door. The guards exchanged quick, sharp glances, their calm masks breaking. One of them took a step forward, his hand subtly moving toward his jacket pocket. Miss May, what's going on? Mr. Carter asked, startled. She swallowed hard. They said something about moving once you get inside. Please, don't. The moment stretched, tense and silent, until one of the guards lunged forward. But before he could reach her, another guard, one May hadn't noticed before, stepped in, shouting in Chinese, "Don't move," and revealed a badge. He was undercover, a government agent. The scene erupted into chaos. Within seconds, the fake guards were pinned down and the car was opened. Inside, hidden beneath the seat, was a small explosive device, rigged to detonate remotely. May's knees went weak. She'd saved a life. Mr. Carter looked at her in stunned disbelief. You understood them? Tears welled in her eyes as she nodded silently. That night, the storm outside finally broke. But inside the hotel, another storm had passed. The next morning, the sun rose weakly through gray clouds. The city buzzed with the usual rhythm. But for May, nothing felt normal anymore. She hadn't slept a second. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw the faces of those men, heard their whispers, and felt the weight of her decision. Mr. Carter had insisted on seeing her again before flying home. When she entered his suite, he was already waiting, his expression softer than the night before. I owe you my life, he said quietly. If it weren't for you, I'd be... He stopped, shaking his head. Why did you risk yourself? Mai looked down. Because if I didn't, I wouldn't be able to live with myself. There was a pause, the kind that carries gratitude words can't express. Mr. Carter smiled gently. People like you are rare. I came to China for business, but I'm leaving with a lesson about humanity. He offered her something, a small envelope, a scholarship. For your studies, I can't repay what you did, but I can help you build the future you deserve. May's eyes widened, tears threatening to fall. I don't know what to say. Say you'll keep being brave, he said, smiling. Months passed. May moved to a better neighborhood, enrolled in a language and diplomacy program, and began volunteering to teach young interpreters. She often told them the same words her mother once told her, the same ones that guided her that night. One evening, years later, Mai received a letter with familiar handwriting. It was from Mr. Carter. Inside was a single line: "I still think of that night, and the woman who taught me that courage speaks every language." May smiled softly, tears glimmering in her eyes. She looked out at the bustling city lights, the same city that once frightened her, and whispered to herself, "Sometimes, doing what's right is the greatest translation of all. Courage isn't about strength or power. It's about listening to your heart, even when your voice shakes. One whisper of truth can save a life, and one act of bravery can change the world."